let me off the hook. I was just being lazy. So I said, tell them to read my book. It's 1:37 a.m. and I'm coming home from LaGuardia Airport. I'd been traveling for work, so to say I was exhausted would be an understatement. In my heightened state of delirium, my mind began to wander, as minds typically do in heightened states of delirium. I can't explain why I went to this moment. Truly, I can't, but it did. And I remembered a moment in time when I was 18 years old. It was a New Year's Eve party, and I was wearing a blue shirt with sequins on it. Nothing fancy, just fancy enough to feel pretty. His name was Matt. In 6 months, he was going to join the army. In 4 years, he was going to lose his mind. And in 3 minutes, he was going to tell me I was the ugly friend. Just like that. I don't know why he said it. Truly, I don't. Maybe he was a cruel person. Maybe he believed it and wanted to make me understand my crime of having such beautiful friends. Maybe he was a thoughtless person who said thoughtless things. I don't know. 4 years later, that boy literally lost his mind. He went insane in a very literal way. So while I could be angry about the things he said to me when he was young and reckless, I mostly feel sad that someone so brilliant and actually truly talented lost their mind. Toastmasters, members, lots and lots of guests. There are ugly, silly things that we carry around inside us. Things that someone said when we were 18 or 8 or last week. Small hurts and big hurts. And hurts that seem so insignificant that we don't even know that they exist until 10 years later when we are weeping helplessly during a teenage movie called The Duff. When that boy told me I was the ugly friend, I scoffed it off. Truly, I did. I had just gotten back from Brazil, so I thought it was hot stuff. I really did. I thought it was hot stuff. But I scoffed it off. I didn't cry. I didn't pout. I turned to a friend of mine, a beautiful friend, it's true, and said, "What a giant douchebag." And it was over. And I grew up into a fairly confident, self-assured adult who thinks she has a great body that men want to see naked. Now chicka wow wow. Except it wasn't over. Because words are powerful. Because that day he unknowingly planted the seed of a baby hurt plant that I subconsciously watered for so many stupid, stupid years to come. I can't explain why I wanted to see that movie so badly that I went by myself. Perhaps it resonated with that deeply buried hurt plant in the heart of my 18-year-old self. So I went to the movie theaters alone. I ate popcorn, and when the movie was over, I cried silent tears. And when everyone left, I cried noisy tears. And then I went to the bathroom and cried until my entire body was shaking, and I couldn't cry anymore because that stupid, dumb teen movie resonated on such an unfair level. But even then, I didn't realize how deeply important that hurt seed had become. It wasn't until 2 weeks later when I started to think about things and connect the dots, and I remembered two things. I remembered being at a bachelorette party with 4 of my closest girlfriends. Beautiful, it's true. These girls have never paid for a drink in their lives. You know the kind I'm talking about, right? Never paid for a drink in their life. They get on the train, everybody gets up, I'm hanging on to the bar, you know what I mean. 4 really good-looking men walked in. They started flirting with us. You do the math. 4 guys, 5 girls. One of them was talking equally to my friend and I remember thinking, he probably wishes he was just talking to her. So I got up and went to the bathroom. I remembered when I first moved to New York City, I had a silly self-preservation rule that I wouldn't date anybody who hit on my roommate, Lindsay, first. Lindsay is beautiful. So the night when I met Dustin, he so attentively hit on me and so intentionally ignored her that 2 years after we broke up, I was enjoying some adult beverages. When I texted him, "Thank you for never hitting on Lindsay." 2 years later. That's how deeply buried and important that hurt seed had become. When I had this revelation, I felt profoundly sad for myself that I had subconsciously listened to the words of an 18-year-old boy and caused so much needless suffering, truthfully, needless suffering for myself. But I also felt compassion for the young girl still trying to find her way, for the person still trying to navigate this sometimes murky life. And I decided to have a new thought. Because no matter how deeply buried these hurt seeds are, no matter how important and reinforced these internal dialogues are, we can change them. I am not the ugly friend, I said. I am not the ugly friend, I repeated with more conviction. I am not the ugly friend, I said again and again and again, 7 times more, 3 times more, 4 times more. I'm not the ugly friend. I am not the ugly friend. I am not the ugly friend. 6 times more, 13 times more, 22 times more, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I am not the ugly friend. I am not the ugly friend. I said it like it was a pesticide that was going to kill that hurt plant. I said it like my life depended on it, like my future happiness depended on it. And it probably did. Perhaps I needed to believe that to go on and become a whole, loved human being. And that is exactly what I wish for all of you. Find your hurt seed. Dig deep. Maybe someone somewhere told you that you were tone deaf. Or your girlfriend told you you were bad at giving massages. Or a teacher told you that you weren't smart enough. Or your brother implied that your business idea was stupid. Or your boss implied that you were failing. Or a well-intentioned friend suggested that you were somehow too tall, or joked about you being unathletic, or untalented, or too much of something. Or they called you ugly. Or they called you whale, or fatty. Or they made fun of your acne, your scars, your speech impediment, your limp. Someone, somewhere, somehow used their words to imply that you weren't good enough. And you subconsciously, on a bizarre and unfair and primal level, agreed with them. And you watered that hurt seed for so many stupid years. Find your hurt seed. Dig deep. And then grab that son of a bitch by its annoying, stupid leaves. Claw at it like your life depends on it, like your future happiness depends on it. It probably does. Wedge your beautiful, nimble fingers below those annoying, twisted roots. And pull that hurt seed right out of your big, wonderful heart.